everyone. Good evening. Diamond had a live scheduled, and we got some stuff to bring to you folks, and we thought it'd be best to do it on Nikki B's channel because I don't care if I get bombed.
And Diamond Lil thought that was a great idea.
Well, we got to protect Diamond's channel. She has a fellowship every morning that's near and dear to a lot of our hearts, and we got to keep that going. So we'll come over to the rebel side, Diamond.
Yeah, well, Nikki, thanks for taking one for the team.
Always. Anyways, let's see who's here. Georgia, first one in. Hey, Georgia, good to see you.
Frank Stein, hi.
Nick's Creations, hello.
KN, good evening.
Marla Benningfield, good evening.
Tamara Tranter, good evening.
John McLaughlin, hello.
Be Charming, hello.
B-Dog, hey B-Dog, good to see you.
Equine Freedom Homestead, hello.
John Dunning, Diamond, he says, I have a White House hotline.
You do.
Mm-hmm. Well, make me call that White House again.
Yeah, don't make her do it. Pradami Mom, hi.
Isla E, good to see you.
Wild West, hi there.
Cheshire Insight, good to see you.
Doc Honeycutt, hello.
Ingrid Rubio, hello.
Linda Marie, hi.
Sissy K, good to see you.
Twinkle Eyes 62, hello.
Sharon Mercier, good to see you.
Diane B, hi there.
Hey, Diane. Quiltar, good to see you.
Diane Valenzuela, hello.
Awaken Trillium, good evening.
All right.
He's
going to Greensboro, North Carolina. He was supposed to speak twice today. I just didn't know where the second one was.
Oh, is RSB on showing that? I'll be more than happy to play it.
Well, let me take a look. Hi, Baba Morris.
Hey, Baba. Brighter day. Good to see you.
Let me check, Nikki, really quick.
Hey, Tyne Duff. Good to see you. Okay, Diamond. I'm waiting on you.
Yep. They have it scheduled. Let's see.
I don't know because I didn't get to hear earlier's speech, but my good friend here on panel, Diamond Lil, told me it's the same old blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it was. It seemed to be the same old. He did talk about his indictment, but, it's the same old, we got to make America great again. Look at how bad that they've made the country, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Stuff we already know. They are televising it right now. He's not on yet.
Okay.
Nikki B.
Well, we got some other stuff to cover anyway. Slow Country, good to see you.
Yes, I just saw that the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, they found him in his cell this morning at 8 o'clock. He died. They're not saying the cause of death, but he was 81. So the Unabomber has
left the building.
On. Yeah. Yes, he's left the building. Yeah.
Linda Kirksey, good to see you. Kim Haggerty, good to see you.
Let's see. All right, if I share
of course.
Couple of things, Nikki. Here we go.
Of course.
I closed the raisin bag all by myself.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, you got her raisins, I hear.
I did when I went out and got my Chinese food. I got her some raisins. Okay, this one here, let me go back to this page here. Can you see the Julie Greene page right now?
No, all I see is
Or
the True Social page.
Okay. Let's see.
That's okay.
Well, I can tell you that Julie Greene on May 16th, 2023, just a few weeks ago, Heavenly Father said, Havana, I say this name again because something significant is about to take place there. Okay? And on Donald Trump's True Social, he reposted disclose.tv, put in just in Cuba to host Chinese spy base to eavesdrop on the United States. Beijing will pay Havana several $1 billion for the facility.
Jeez, oh pizzas.
So that is Havana being in the news. And then there was a few other things too that he
Truthed?
Yeah, he said America went to sleep last night with tears in its eyes. And it's all caps. Someday soon, however, it will be able to wipe away those tears and smile bigger than ever before. For we will have defeated the radical left Marxists, fascists, communists, lunatics, and deranged maniacs, and cleared the path to put America first, and then quickly make America great again.
Let's go.
Yeah. There was what was there? Let me just scroll down real quick because there was something else. I came across that Havana thing. Oh, here it is. John Solomon. He's an excellent reporter. He used to report on Hannity, during the whole, Mueller thing.
Uh-huh.
John Solomon reports plainclothes cops at Capitol during J6 riot. One on video exhorting the crowd, key lawmaker says. Plainclothes cops at Capitol during the riot. One on the video exhorting the crowd. Body cam video leaked onto the video platform, rhymes with Bumble, is authentic and confirms that officers in plain clothes were at the riot. And then Mel Gibson is about to expose them all. He's going to release a 4-part series exposing child sex trafficking.
Does anybody know where that's going to be released at, that 4-part text series?
Yeah, let me see. It gave a link. Let's see.
Yeah, where's that take you?
Yeah, let me take a look here. It's he was talking to Redacted.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson was.
Hey, Lisa Parker.
There was another thing too that Sebastian Gorka put out. Trump pulls off an epic move to send Bragg's case tumbling. It says he makes a genius legal maneuver in his battle with Alvin Bragg, sends DA's case tumbling after he sued Cohen. DC Drano says, and Trump reposted it. It's become clear our government has been corrupted and weaponized against conservative Americans. We don't want a traditional GOP president to go in and play nice. We need a human wrecking ball to obliterate the ill-infecting DC with fire and fury. I only know one guy that will do that.
Amen.
So let me see where that, I think it's going to take me to Redacted It's a YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
link.
You don't have to do that.
All right. I believe it's redacted, and I'll have to see if I can see what that's all about. So that was on his Truth Social. And then I came across Lou Valentino was playing Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino, remember, left Fox News or was fired, one or the other, and has his own talk show. So Lou Valentino was playing that. And let me, if you don't mind, Nikki, I'd like to play just a little bit of that.
Of course, you can play it.
Okay, let me... He's been hiding behind this all along. This is where he says it all ties back to Obama.
Hey, EOT, good to see you. Sorry, Diamond.
Let me know when
You're up.
I'm up. Okay.
Yep. Hold on. Let
All
me
right.
take Melinda's comment off the screen. There you go.
Okay. Here we go.
Documents alleged scandal. And I'll go through why this case is an absolute loser if it makes it to a serious judge and not a hack. I'll go through that in a second. We got the deets on that. I was on Obama's detail. Obama had a guy in his circle, very close in his circle, and he knows who he is. This guy was caught multiple times bringing foreign nationals up to secure floors where there were documents all over the place, most likely classified. Everybody knows who this guy is. Espionage Act violations, exposing classified documents to foreign nationals. We have no idea who these people are. Let's just say this guy would come back, maybe had a few adult sodas in him. I mean, as close to Obama as you can get. A few adult sodas in him and be with some people, if you know what I mean, that were definitely not vetted. It's all good. It's okay. Really? You know who those people are? Has it ever occurred to you might be getting set up in a honey trap? Sure we want to go down this road? And by the way, I did not kill myself, just so you all know.
The boomerang is coming, my friends.
Wow. You know,
Yeah.
I heard that and I said, oh my goodness.
Wow. Hi, Annette Graff. Good to see you. I got a couple things to show too. Some of you might have already seen it, but it's Lauren Boebert, the Republican from Colorado. She's speaking after viewing unclassified F to the B to the I, FD-1023 form on the moron. Let's check this out. Want to, Diamond?
I would love to. I love her too, by the way.
Yeah, me too. All right, here we go.
Hey, I want to talk to you about what's going on in the Oversight and Accountability Committee, and it ain't good for the Bidens. I just viewed the unclassified FD-1023 record in a SCIF, proving that Joe Biden was involved in a $5 million bribery scheme to sell out the American people. Thanks a lot, big guy. This document memorialized the testimony of a trustworthy whistleblower who worked for the FBI for over a decade. This document corroborates the testimony of a foreign national who claimed to have bribed then Vice President Joe Biden. Christopher Wray has refused to comply with our subpoena and release these unclassified documents to the American people to view for yourselves. Instead, he has only allowed members of the committee to view the records in a SCIF where the documents were even redacted. Let me tell you, the other side of the aisle would never allow this to stand. Last Congress, we saw Nancy Pelosi abuse her power as Speaker of the House to establish the sham January 6th Unselect Committee to play political games. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Peter Navarro, Dan Scavino, and even Steve Bannon were all unjustly held in contempt of Congress. Since the 82nd Congress, the House Oversight and Accountability Committee has acted as the voice of the American people to ensure their government is working for them, not against them. It's time we wield our power and hold FBI Director Wray in contempt. This committee has obtained thousands of pages of financial records tying 9 Biden family members to bribes from Chinese and Romanian companies and laundering their money through shady shell companies. We have real evidence that Joe Biden has sold out the American people with his years of shady business deals with foreign nationals, and we subpoenaed the deep state to get answers for you. Surprise, surprise. The woke and weaponized FBI is refusing to comply. I am determined to hold them accountable. Christopher Wray receives a salary from We the People. He works for you. He wasn't hired to cover up for the Biden crime family. The American people deserve to know how Biden sold them out. It's time we held Director Wray in contempt of Congress. And if he refuses to reply and release the records so the American people can make up their own minds about Biden's $5 million bribe, we don't need the FBI, the media, or even Congress to filter the evidence. We want the truth. Share this message far and wide and help demand Director Wray release the records.
You go, girl.
Lauren Boebert.
He's on stage, Nikki.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to play him?
It's up to you.
I had another video to play.
Oh, it's totally up to you. What do you want to do?
Well, it's whatever. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to watch Trump or do you guys?
I'm looking to see. People are saying he's up 1 minute. Yeah, he's still. They must be playing the song because he's just standing there. But he's on stage right now.
Okay.
Do you want me to share it or what do you want to do?
Oh, do you have it up? I was just getting ready
do.
to pull it up. Okay.
Yeah. Let me share it with you.
Do you guys want to watch Trump or do you guys want to watch the next video I have to play first?
He's at the podium.
Can you make it bigger, Diamond?
I can.
I want to thank Michael and congratulations on your re-election as party chairman. That's a big deal. That was a big deal. It's great to be back in North Carolina. Very special place. Very, very special. We've had tremendous success here. We won it twice. We won the primaries twice. We won the election twice. It was great. Sit down. Come on, we'll be with each other. We have nothing else to do tonight. I also want to thank our outstanding NRCC chairman. Where is the chairman? Richard Hudson. Where's the chairman? Come on, Richard, stand up. We just got back from Georgia, and he's even a celebrity in Georgia. We had a great crowd in Georgia, too. He's fourth in line for speaker, and his wonderful wife, Renee, is incredible. She served 4 years, actually, in the White House as Kellyanne. Is anyone here of Kellyanne Conway? Nobody, right? She's so fantastic. But thank you, and thank the family. Your family is fantastic.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thanks also to one of the great stars of the party, one of the great stars, and Lieutenant Governor Mark.
Stop this
Robinson.
Yeah. Okay. We can always go back to him if they want, but
Slow Country says, I don't know if it was a mistake or a blip on the RSBN page for this rally speech. It shows a date of June 6th, 2023. I took a screenshot. Very interesting.
oh,
That is interesting. Listen, I don't have anything big to show you guys. It's not like that. What is a woman I played the other night? It's actually a Fox News clip with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's nothing major, but
yeah.
I'll play it.
Okay.
Here we go. Hang on.
Joining me now, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the House Oversight Committee. Congresswoman, so the reporting would be then, if this were true, that the Burisma scheme is confirmed, then Trump is indicted. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. This all just happened, sheer coincidence. Finally, we get the information on alleged bribes of the Biden family through shell corporations, et cetera.
Well, I have to tell you, Laura, I feel like we're winning, and we won some today when everyone feels like we're losing, especially with this indictment of President Trump and this document hoax. But what we read today in the skiff, and I want to let everyone know, this was an unclassified document. This is a document that all of America should be able to see, but the FBI is stonewalling us, and they would only let us see it in a skiff. Well, what I did after reading the document is I made notes when I walked out and I went to the table and I wrote down everything that I had just read so that I could come out and tell the American people what I read. And it's exactly what you and many others have been reporting for so long. And it's what everyone already knew. I filed articles of impeachment on Joe Biden's inauguration day exactly for this Burisma pay-to-play schemes. And when he was vice president, we now know through the FD 1023 form that we read today that Joe Biden was paid $5 million, along with Hunter Biden being paid $5 million in order to get Victor Shokin fired so that he would not be investigating Burisma anymore. And Hunter Biden was working very hard to get Burisma to buy a U.S. oil and gas company. And Hunter Biden was promising that there would be a lot of capital invested into this business deal.
Well, when are we going to get those redacted bank records, Congresswoman? I mean, the redacted bank records of the Biden, the whole clan, so we can finally figure out, how did the Biden family get so rich? I mean, that's just a simple question that reporters don't want to ask. How did they become so wealthy with Joe Biden in public service for decades and decades? How did it happen?
Well, we have been investigating that on the Oversight Committee, and I really have to applaud the Oversight staff, Chairman Comer, and all of the members on the committee. This informant, which is, by the way, the FBI called this informant for this 1023 form their most credible paid FBI informant, and they are trying to make sure that we don't get our hands on more. But what we've been able to uncover is we read over 2,000 pages of SARS reports in the Treasury Department. And those SARS reports are bank records produced by banks. They're reports. And they have to report them by law whenever they see evidence of a crime or certain types of wire transfers, like a lot of money from foreign countries. And then on our Oversight Committee, we have subpoenaed banks and we've subpoenaed bank records. And so we have bank records and we have evidence of wire transfers from many different countries into shell companies, LLCs. And then we have evidence of payments out of the LLCs directly to multiple Biden family members. But now we also know that there isn't just one 1023 form that the FBI possesses. There's multiple 1023 forms.
What?
And here's what, there's more.
Oh my God. When are we gonna get our hands on those? Or are you gonna get your hands on those?
Next week. And this is why I want to tell you, in what seems like an extremely dark day and where we are appalled, infuriated, disgusted, and just outraged over the hypocrisy of Merrick Garland bringing charges and Jack Smith bringing charges against President Trump for this document hoax. And you're right, it's today for a reason. On this 1023 form, it references two more 1023 forms. And so our Oversight Committee was able to read the first one today. But next week, Chairman Comer and, of course, Congressman Raskin get to go in and look at two more 1023 forms. And tomorrow, subpoenas go out for more banks related to Ukraine bank accounts and wire transfers. So we are moving along. And I want to tell you something really interesting. The person referenced, their name is redacted on
Yeah.
this 1023 form that we read today, said that it would take us 10 years to uncover all the bank accounts and all the wire transfers involving the Bidens. Well, on oversight, we've done it in less than 6 months, and we really think that we're on to a lot more. But I want to tell you this, the evidence that I read today, Joe Biden should be impeached. This isn't even something that should be disputed. He should be impeached and also prosecuted.
This is an etch-a-sketch of bank records. I could imagine. I can only imagine how many shell companies and LLCs and Cayman Islands accounts and everything are involved here. But we want to know where this goes and where it leads. And Congresswoman, we appreciate your joining us tonight. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Hey, Diamond, I found it. Do you want me to play that? I think it's like 9 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
10 years, they said it was going to take them.
To go through them.
Yeah.
They must move at a turtle's pace.
Snail's pace. See, that's why that's what they use and say, oh, but you need me back there so that we can continue this. Yeah, they're slow. That's why when he got in there, 45, he moved so fast that people's head were spinning like, boy, you're making things happen. You know, this usually doesn't happen. Well, that's because he's run a business, and that's how you run a business, is you need to get stuff done or you don't make money.
That's right.
Okay.
I couldn't imagine running a business. I hope this is the one, Georgia, but this is what I found. Hold on one sec. Here we go. The real story behind the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay.
Have you ever gone to an athletic event and as someone was singing the national anthem, the people around you were not even paying attention? They didn't have their hand over their heart. They hadn't removed a hat from their head. Perhaps they were chatting with a friend and not even looking at the flag, just disengaged and disconnected. In a sense, by their casualness, they weren't just disrespecting the national anthem. They were disrespecting the men and women in the armed forces who have valiantly served our country. Those who've bled and died defending the freedoms of our nation. It is my belief that if you only knew the story behind the Star Spangled Banner, it would cause you to stand at attention, almost like a soldier yourself, with reverence and gratitude. You would sing the anthem with all of your heart, and in so doing, you would be telling the world how grateful you are to live in the greatest nation in the world, the United States of America. Let me tell you the story behind the Star Spangled Banner. There was a young lawyer by the name of Francis Scott Key who lived in Baltimore, Maryland in the early 1800s. At the time, our nation was engaged in vicious conflict with Britain. After the Revolutionary War, the British had suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of the United States, and up until 1814, they had been on the defensive. But in August 1814, determined not to be embarrassed again, the British saw their opportunity to get on the offensive. They exacted their revenge by capturing our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., chasing President Madison and his wife from the city and burning many of our government buildings. Then the British headed to Baltimore, the nation's third most populated city, to attack a fort called Fort McHenry. Along the way, Britain had accumulated prisoners, and we know that some of the prisoners had been placed aboard those British warships. One of the prisoners was a man named Dr. William Beans. Dr. Beans had many prominent friends and neighbors who enlisted the services of one Francis Scott Key to negotiate with the British for his release. Francis Scott Key agreed and arranged to have Colonel John Skinner, American agent for prisoner exchange, accompany him. On the appointed day, the men rowed out in a little boat and boarded a British ship to secure the release of Dr. Beans. After nearly a week of negotiations, they were successful. That's the good news. The bad news is that the British decided that they were first going to attack Fort McHenry and that they wouldn't release any prisoner until after the fort had been destroyed. You see, Fort McHenry was a strategically located military base, which was defended by 1,000 men. It stood on the end of a peninsula guarding the city of Baltimore, and the British knew that the defeat of Fort McHenry and its 1,000 men would serve as another demoralizing event for the Americans. So the plan of the British war fleet, which included some 16 to 19 warships, was to mercilessly fire their superior weapons and completely annihilate Fort McHenry. Then the British could send in its lighter ships up into the harbor and begin to bombard the rest of Baltimore. This is a critical moment in the history of our young nation. For even though we had become a sovereign nation in 1776, the United States was still fighting for total independence from the British due to Britain's interference in our expansion, trade, and other freedoms. On September 13, 1814, as morning dawned and as the haze hung over the ocean, the British war fleet was unleashed. Boom, 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 boom. For 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. Boom, boom, the guns raged. The sound must have been deafening. Boom, boom, boom for 12 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, for 24 hours. The British war fleet pounded Fort McHenry relentlessly with no relief in sight. The Americans inside Fort McHenry were unable to respond because their guns were not as powerful as the British artillery. Witnessing the bombardment, it must have looked like a spectacular fireworks display. Francis Scott Key, he paced the ship all night long, back and forth. At times, he could see the American flag in the illuminated red glare of each bomb. No doubt if he had seen a white flag waving, he would have known that the Americans were surrendering. But as long as he could see the red, white, and blue flag waving, he knew that the men inside that fort were not giving up. Don't you believe that there had to be some prisoners on board some of those warships who were wondering, is the flag still there? Is the flag still there? Is the flag still there? Because you see, that flag stood for the United States of America. It was that flag that stood for the freedoms that our nation cherishes today. It was that flag that stood for the men and women who died to give us our independence. Well, after more than 24 hours of constant bombardment, finally, there was silence. And as morning dawned on September 14th, 1814, when the heavy mist and the smoke from the gunfire had lifted, there, standing proudly, flying high above the rampart, blowing back and forth in the wind, was the huge 30-foot by 42-foot American flag. Major George Armistead, the commander of Fort McHenry, had commissioned a widow to make this flag. He wanted it to be so large that the British wouldn't have any trouble seeing it from the distance, waving proudly. Miraculously, the damage to the fort was minimal. Of the 1,000 soldiers, 4 were killed. The United States did not yield, and the British eventually withdrew from the Baltimore harbor, deeming the battle to be too costly. The tide of the war was reversed. There at the Battle of Fort McHenry, just a few months later, a peace treaty was signed between the United States and Britain. It was upon the release of the prisoners that Francis Scott Key made his way back into Baltimore. And after such a dramatic and emotional occasion, the young lawyer was inspired to pen the following words. "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?" It is my prayer that whenever we see the flag, which represents the United States of America, and whenever we hear the words of the Star-Spangled Banner as it is sung, that we would stand in reverence for the miraculous events of that night in 1814, to honor the courageous men and women who have fought to keep our flag waving. May we always stand. May we always remove our hats. May we always place our hand over our hearts. And may we always sing with all of our hearts as we give honor and respect to the flag and to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for this great nation of ours, the United States of America.
That was awesome.
Sorry, I was having a little issue over here.
Oh, no, no problem. No problem.
Now, where did it go?
What you looking for?
Somehow, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know where you guys went. I can't pull up my screen. Just go ahead, Diane.
Huh. Well, that's weird.
There you are. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Hi.
It's
Yeah,
my
they're-
laptop.
Yeah, but they're messing with us awful.
Mm-hmm. That was good. Thank you, Georgia, for
Yes,
suggesting that.
Georgia, thank you. That was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, Eileen, I never heard it either. That was awesome.
yeah.
And I've never been like even at my daughter's graduation last weekend, we stood and said the Pledge of Allegiance, and everybody stood and had their hands over their heart and removed their hats.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are the Patriots. Her school's the Patriots.
Yeah. Well, Outlandish Patriot shared that her husband
Yes.
was able to mouth that he loved her.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you, Outlandish.
That is tremendous. Yeah. Tremendous, tremendous news.
He's making good strides. Is he still in the ICU, Outlandish? Has he been moved to a room yet?
My granddaughter. One of
She's
her.
having a ball.
Oh yeah, one of her stuffed animals has to wee wee.
Oh, well, I hope it's using the restroom.
Yes, she is in the restroom. So, well, he's still on. I didn't know if you want to, cut the show, or what you want to do.
Do you guys want to watch Trump? Do you guys want to just invite some more people on panel and chat? Do you want to end it? I don't care what we do.
Outlandish says yes, still in the ICU.
Oh, Craig the Hunter has entered the room. Hey, Craig.
Oh no! Hold on to your children.
Well, let's invite Paul News if he wants to come up, and Craig for a few minutes. You want to?
Okay.
All right.
Hold on to your goats. Hold on to your roosters.
Oh, Lord.
Craig the Hunter is in the chat.
Bubba, grab it too if you want to come up. Or Marla, if you're interested. Who else usually comes up?
Isla E says, let's chat. Okay. Ox
Hey,
Mustard Seeds is here.
He says, hi, hi, hi. He must be
Hi,
hi, hi, hi.
hi. Craig's cooking fish.
Well, here comes Marla.
Yay!
Uh-oh, Marla, do you got your finger over the
Oh.
camera?
Here
All I
she
can
is.
see was a big finger.
Wrecked today, y'all. I just got out of the shower. I have no idea where my hair's going.
That's all right.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. I had to mow my front yard and weed eat, and that was a challenge because I'm still working on my arm. And can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like I'm yelling.
Yeah,
So
Craig says he can't hear you, but he's lying. Yeah,
I'm lying.
Don't listen to him. Yeah.
So it's hot and it's humid. It's about to storm again. And I came in and took a shower and I'm still melting. But of course, tonight I'm having a little Pinot Noir.
There you go.
Adult beverage?
A little adult beverage, yes.
Yes.
I decided to have that and some snacks and I noticed you were coming on. At first I was confused because I noticed it was Diamond and then
Yeah, it was.
Very confusing.
Nikki talked me into letting her take it for the team in case we get taken down. So
switcheroo.
Yeah, I wanted Diamond to be able to go on with her fellowship in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Gotta
Yep.
have one channel that's tucked away for doing regular stuff with regular people. That's why I tried to keep 15 from doing any shows on there that I could get censored for. But then what did I do? I went and I cleared the cache in the browser and it deleted all my passwords and names and everything else. And I can't figure out what the heck it was. I've tried like 50 different passwords and still haven't been able to get in there.
Oh,
See,
no.
Hawk, that's why I kick it old school. I write everything down.
Good to see you, Hawk. I didn't even realize Hawk was up here. I'm sorry. Yeah, what's going on, Craig? How you doing, man? Hey, I've been watching some of these little shorts that you've been doing. You're doing pretty good.
Ah,
I'm having fun. I'm having fun. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? In all this craziness going on, somebody has got to be there to throw a little bit of laughter in there. You know,
Yes.
and it's and the thing is, Craig, you're doing it laughter with love.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? That's a huge
sir.
difference.
Yes, sir.
You leave that boy alone.
Oh, dogs.
I hear a dog crying.
Dogs.
Oh no, it's he's trying to kiss his dad on the mouth, and his dad doesn't like it. So
On the peanuts.
yeah. It's I got I have a whole pack of German Shepherds. So Baron is the alpha male, and his 8-month-old son just really wants to love his dad. He's not trying to be gay or anything, but as soon as that tongue goes in his mouth, that's it. You're in trouble, kid. You know?
That Juan?
No, Juan got killed.
Oh, I didn't know that. What?
Yeah, Juan got killed about a little over a month ago. We had a break in. There's a creek that borders my property here, and on the other side of the creek, that property had been bought by a group of Koreans. Okay, they went in, they built a whole big cannabis facility there, and all that. And then they went down to Texas and started bringing illegals up here. They were buying illegals to operate their business. And the thing is they brought whole families. They didn't just bring, like single men or single women. They brought like entire families. There's like one lady over there. She's got 4 kids with her. So the feds went in and raided the place last year. And, so we thought the whole place was cleaned out. We didn't hear any sound coming out of there or anything else, especially over the winter time. And it's a lot quieter around here during the winter. People don't want to take that coastal road, that coastal highway, because it's so damn cold and it's so damn icy, so the traffic cut back and we didn't hear anything all winter long. Well, about 6 weeks ago, a group of them over there broke through a wooden section of my fence, went into my biggest greenhouse, and were pilfering propane heaters and propane tanks.
Oh no!
And they were taking them out. Well, Juan and Gunner caught them, and when they caught them, the guy who was closest, Juan was attacking him, had his legs and everything, and then Gunner joined in. Gunner was only 6 months old at the time, but he joined in. He was biting the hell out of this guy's leg. I mean, it was nuts. And I thought that there was only one person. So when I got to there and had the person in my possession, Juan went ahead and went after the other person, and he took off. And the guy was walking along the highway as fast as he could, carrying 2 propane tanks and a propane heater, going as fast as he could. Well, Juan chased him, and then the guy cut across the highway.
Oh,
So Juan cut across the highway and got hit. So, but
sorry to hear about that. Sorry
yeah.
about
Terrible.
Hey, I've said this, to a few people. Juan was consummately the biggest protector of the farm, for all of the litters that we've ever had, than any other. Baron's protective, Gabriel's protective, but none of them were anything like Juan. And so he got I buried him out down on the main field, and where I had a couple other dogs that have died over the years buried, and then I put a fence up around it so that the new owners know that it's a dog cemetery. They don't just go digging it up and everything, because they've all met all the dogs. So it's like
that's crazy how the Koreans got to move in there and all that stuff. I mean, what's going on?
Well, there's Mexicans, Iranians, Afghans. There is some Hondurans, bunch of Venezuelans. And what it was they were going down and buying these people at the border. Either they were paying the officers, or they were buying them from the cartel.
Wow.
So when the feds raided the place, they says, well, the only way we can keep track of them is just leave them where they're at. So there are over 200 tents and shacks set up just across the creek from me.
Jeez.
But I know that the one guy got back over there with what he was carrying. That he definitely warned everybody that there was dogs here, because nobody's been back. So that was good.
Good. What is that?
Red snapper.
Did these people kill one?
No, well, the guy ran across the highway, and when he ran across the highway, Juan went chasing after him, and a car hit him.
Oh, a car hit him.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
So,
and it was the sheriff. It was the sheriff who brought him back to me. He was dead already, but he brought him back to me. Because he chased him up the highway at least a half a mile, and that's where the gated entrance going into their property is. But the sheriff was like, he knows that I love my dogs, and he loaded that dog on the back seat of his car. He didn't care that the dog was dead, that injury and everything else. He loaded him in the car and brought him back down here. He cleaned out his car afterwards. So it was really cool to see that, the community realizes, the benefit of having these dogs around here. So and a bunch of my neighbors have pups, from over the years. So, it's like when Cuba gets out of the fenced area, she goes 2 farms up, staying on this side of the road, because that's where her first litter, half of the first litter lived there. They came in, they picked up males and females, and they took the whole half a litter. So Cuve goes up there and gets to see her kids and her grandkids, and stuff like that. So yeah, they had a few German Shepherds already. So they brought in breeding stock so that they can, they can make puppies and stuff. So
very cool.
Yeah. But that was a very good video, by the way. I liked that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say hi earlier, but the video had just started and I wasn't gonna interrupt anything. So
Oh, which one?
the one you just played.
The Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the story of that fort and stuff. So.
Yep.
That was,
That was
really
cool.
good. I like that. The video. It was really good.
How you doing, Craig?
Doing great. We just cooked some red snapper and squash.
Ooh, yum.
And,
Yummy.
it was a beautiful day at the marina. It was very hot though today. Very hot. So
Yes, it's hot in Texas.
yeah.
Only getting hotter too.
The sun.
What would it be if it wasn't squashed?
You know what? Zucchini.
Was it squash or zucchini?
No, it was squash.
Oh, okay.
It was yellow squash.
Oh, yummy.
We had burgers, and I actually made tuna noodle salad. I haven't had that in years.
Cold. I love that. I love
Yeah.
it cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, and I put hard-boiled eggs in it, and
That's
we
the
had
way.
burgers, and so it was kind of like a good, wholesome childhood meal tonight.
I made homemade hummus.
Yum,
That's what I'm eating. Hummus and vegetables and
yummy.
It's basically chickpea.
Yeah.
it is.
That is a chickpea.
Or garbanzo. Garbanzo beans is what Nikki's husband calls them.
Yes, because
Chickpea.
because Brian Teaser has to be correct on everything.
Correct on Italian, yes, because that's what they're called. What is really a chickpea or is it a garbanzo? What
It's
is
the
it?
same thing.
The same thing.
Why is there so many different names for one item?
Oh,
Oh well.
Potato, potato. I don't know. Tomato, tomato.
True.
Diamond, do you have an answer for that?
I was just gonna say supper.
Sapa?
Supper.
How you doing, Diamond?
How you doing?
How you doing, Diamond?
How am I
How you
doing?
doing?
I'm doing good, Craig. How are you? I had Chinese food for supper.
Yummy.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
You should
love
be
Chinese.
hungry in 1 hour. You should be hungry again in 1
it
hour.
was delicious. It was delicious.
That's good.
What'd you have, Hawk?
I had a bowl of clam chowder a couple hours ago, but dinner isn't for a couple more hours yet. It's
Oh,
only
yeah,
11
you're
o'clock here.
behind us, aren't you?
Yeah.
See, it's already.
Well, it depends on how you look at it because everything in the world is reversed right now. So generally, I'd be in front of you.
It really is a reversed world right now.
It is. It is.
Upside down.
Yeah. And Trump's speech was really good today.
I'll have to go back
Yeah.
and watch it. I was out busy doing things.
Yeah, he's in the generality, he follows one path to get through his speech, but there's always between 5 to 7 different points that he makes that are the little nuggets that we're supposed to be catching.
So what'd you catch, Hawk?
A lot of things in regards to Jack Smith. He's
Yes.
the prosecutor, and he noticed what I noticed yesterday during Jack Smith's opening remarks, to the, at his press conference, was that no one, and I mean no one, is over the law.
No, you're right
The
about that.
law applies to everybody equally. And then the other thing was I also want to remind people that he is innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
And he was very stressful about getting that line in at the end of his speech. So there's some, but Trump noticed, and he commented about it. He thanked him for that remark, even though he at the same point, he's calling it all, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in the country, and he's right. Even next to the 1600 and 1700 witch hunts that were going on to find witches and everything. This is by far more damaging than what they did to the actual witches back in those days.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's been really, really, really quiet on Facebook with the liberal people. They haven't been chiming in for 6-8 months.
Yeah.
They're flooding it today.
Oh, yeah.
He said something about Jack Smith's speech, too. He said, did you notice when he came out to give his speech how nervous he was? And he said he should be nervous, and something about all crooks are, I can't remember if he called them a crook or what, but he said all of them are nervous when they come out here and spew the stuff they're spewing.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like they're being forced to go out there and say it, and it's like they realize, oh my God, my name is going on this. Yeah. Oh my,
He did say Jack Smith looked like he didn't want to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Did you hear awesome. Ted Kaczynski died this morning? The Unabomber.
Oh, yes, I did hear that. Yeah, because, he was caught here in Oregon, not far from where I'm at.
Oh, okay. They said they found him dead in his cell at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, he's 81.
Yeah, 81 years old, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been natural causes. We don't know. They're not saying the causes, they said they didn't release, the cause of death, but, at 81, it could be natural.
We still don't know about that other guy who died over there in New York prison, if that was natural or not.
That one, that was different.
The Epstein.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think that he's tucked away somewhere. Personally, I think he's tucked away somewhere.
I thought so, too.
I would think so, too. He's too important. Very, very important.
I think he knows that no matter what, he's going to face consequences for everything that he was involved with.
Yep.
But I think he spilled the beans, personally. I think he spilled the beans, and it's he's getting to get all his stuff in order before he's taken off of this world, kind of thing.
Well, I was thinking, too, of getting a deal, too. Maybe they'd go a little lighter, which I don't think they will. But if he cooperates, things are a lot better for him than if he didn't.
Yeah.
Excuse me 1 second, you guys. There's a person in the chat, T3, comments, wake up. What military will come help you? Well, let me tell you, T3, God's military is going to help us.
Yes.
Jump on board with God or be left behind. That's the way I see it. So there's the military that's coming.
Yeah. God's army is coming.
It's called the citizens, and we have the right to bear arms, and we're going to keep it.
Yep.
That's why.
Well,
it's what the Second Amendment was written for.
That's it.
Just a day like this, Hawk.
Yep. Pick a side.
I've been reading an interesting book, and I mentioned it this morning on Diamond Lil's show. It's called Nixon's Palace Guard.
That's a good book.
Okay. I didn't know anything about it. I have a cousin. She and I are very close. She's the closest thing to a mom that I've got left. And she's 80 years old. And she was telling me about this book that she read in the early 70s. It came out in 71.
Wow.
And, yeah. So she said she read it, and then she said she threw it away because it scared her so bad. I said, why would you throw it away? And she said, Marla, it's so scary. You just can't read it. I said, when I was in 6th grade, I read Helter Skelter, which is the Charlie Manson about his mess. I said, if a 6th grader like myself can read it, then I can read this book. I can do it. So she said, okay, what is it? I said, what is it? And I finally found it. I don't think it's in circulation anymore. You have to kind of really look for it. But I got on Amazon and I found it, and it has been mind blowing because when I got to the 7th page of it, it's already talking about what's happening now.
What's the name of it again?
Pardon?
What's the name of it again?
Nixon's Palace.
It's
Or the Nixon's Palace Guard.
Yeah, Palace Guard. It's by Gary Allen, Allen, not Gary Allen, the country music singer. There's a country music singer named Gary Allen, but he's with an AN on the end.
Yeah.
When someone
it
says
basically
it's
goes
scary,
into the
it
fact
makes you
that
want to go and buy it.
it's basically what it goes into. It expressly opens your eyes to the fact that Watergate was not what the American perception was. It basically explains to you that was a setup to remove Nixon, because Nixon was going to continue what Kennedy had started with, taking us back, off of the Fed controlled petrodollar and move us back to gold, and silver.
It starts off though talking about the elitists, and they formed the CFR, and that's the Council on Foreign Relations, and it's a bunch of these, kind of like what I think Davos is now, but it's all these secret societies intertwined into all these different societies, and how they want to get control and make it one world government so they can be in control.
Yeah, that's what
a lot of this in here that they're talking about in the first of it it's kind of already happening. So I haven't gotten to the Nixon part of it yet. I'm learning. I'm kind of reading this introduction of it. Is the what is it called? CFR. I want to say CRF, but it's CFR. I'm reading it a little slower and absorbing it a little bit more because it's pretty interesting knowing that somebody wrote this in 1971, and here now 2023, it's like, well, this isn't scary. This is already happening.
It's relevant. And what about? Did y'all see that guy?
So the CFR was where the video came from, in regards to Biden sitting there talking about how he told Shokin that if they didn't remove the prosecutor, that they weren't getting the money. I don't know if you've ever seen that video. Basically, so Trump was being accused of telling Zelensky that what do you quid pro quo. That's what Trump's first impeachment was about. So Biden actually had done that. That's why since then, Trump has said, they're reflecting all their crimes on me.
Yep, he said he fired the prosecutor. You remember? He said,
and they got the bill, and they got the $1 billion.
Yep, they got.
So he was going to withhold $1 billion worth of aid to them if they didn't get rid of the prosecutor that was going after Hunter and Burisma.
Dirty. Hey, did y'all see? It was a video this morning. It was about he was a Democratic senator, and he was talking with Pat Buchanan and some other reporter. I don't know who the other guy was, but he was really fighting what he was telling them. But he was talking about all the stuff. Like there's basically the deeps,
yeah,
and all that stuff, and explaining it all to them back then. And he was killed in a plane crash going to Seoul, South Korea in 1983.
Wow.
So he was silenced pretty good. So
getting people to understand that South Korea is actually the 50th state of the United States is a very hard thing to do.
Look at all
but
the
it
Kias
is.
we got tons of Kias.
Yeah, and 51 was the deep states, North Korea. And people don't realize how much control the U.S. government and U.S. military have controls of other countries.
Not for much longer if we keep what we've got in the White House.
Yeah.
North Korea is saying that the dam that just let loose in Ukraine that they're blaming on Russia was an inside job by Ukraine themselves.
Zelensky.
It's most
You know,
likely.
I believe.
So
I completely and totally believe that.
because it stops. It stops their progress.
Well, it's not so much as stopping their progress as it is to create so what we call that is the theater. Okay. So when we talk about going to a combat zone, we're talking about the theater. Okay. So what has to happen in a theater? Acting has to go on in a theater. When you are losing and you're losing really bad, the only way that you can gain support from other countries is if humanitarian type issues come up where either the UN or NATO gets to step in. Okay. So basically what they were doing was they were putting them, the Ukrainian army was doing stuff in order to blame Russia to get other countries to come to their side and help defend the country, but it's like this, when Trump went country to country to country to country, he basically went with folders of information in regards to every single country and the politicians, leaders, everything else, and said, listen, either you're going to play ball or you're done, one or the other, so these other countries that generally would have jumped into bed with Ukraine are they're not so supportive. Poland is helping, but Poland doesn't want to help. It's the American influence in Poland that is forcing Poland to be part of it. So it boils down to watching, how much damage the Ukrainians are willing to do to themselves in order to try and gain new support and get more money. Basically that's where the plea for Zelensky is going to be next in regards to asking for more money. Oh my God, we have such a high capacity humanitarian effort that's needed now. All these people are displaced. We need homes for them. We need food for them. We need shelter, everything all the way down the line. So when you're looking at all of these and understanding the method of the theater, then you begin to realize that there are acting roles in every single theater, whether it's a movie theater, a music theater, a comedy theater, or a war theater. I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense to me. Wanda says, did you guys see Moron on Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel had asked Biden, how do you stop someone like Mr. T? Biden said, lock him up.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Man, I can't watch Kimball.
No, me either. He makes me
sellout
sick.
Saka. Yeah.
Too many videos with him with kids on the internet. Way too many.
He's probably going to be wiped up in with all that group, Hawk.
He was on the list.
Yeah.
He was on the list, and that was the short list that was
probably
really
a head character.
List.
Yeah, he was probably like one of the big shots,
Yep.
like a Prince Andrew.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, that's the thing, though. We may say ooh, but at the same point it is our responsibility to inform others so that they can be protected.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, and it's not good. Not good.
No.
There's a movie coming out. I'm not sure. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with it. It's got Jim Caviezel in it.
Yeah.
The Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Yeah.
Comes out on the 4th of July.
Yep.
And look, they've been holding that. Hawk.
Oh, forever.
It's almost 6 years they've been holding it. Yeah.
It's a true story. Tim Ballard it's about his life and how he saved children.
He's still doing it.
Yeah. He's still doing it. He's still doing it. but I got to see a little bit of it last night. I watched Flashpoint. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It's on Victory. You can get the app on your television or on your phone. And anyway, they have really good shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but they're having a revival. And they had Jim Caviezel and the director and Tim Ballard on there last night, and they talked about it and showed a part of it, and
I've seen
it's gonna be
previews
a
too of it.
heartbreaking movie because it's about children being trafficked through. I don't even that's the break.
How long have I been reporting on that, guys?
Oh, forever.
Based on a true story, not
Yep.
fiction,
Yep.
and they probably it could be worse, but they can't show it to you. That's And what about Mel Gibson? Mel Gibson's been very vocal lately.
Get this. He made an offer to Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard for another movie.
Nice.
It's yeah.
He's
And
also coming out with a 4-part docuseries.
So
Mel Gibson is.
Yes.
So Tim Ballard was heading over to Budapest in order to recover 20 children whose names his wife had given to him to look for. Okay. Well, Mel Gibson called Tim Ballard and asked him to add another 12 names to that list. Wow. And because Mel was sponsoring one of the orphanages there in Budapest. And so Tim Ballard is in the process of recovering those 30 children and getting them there, them here to the United States and all that. But Mel Gibson is like, and he wants to do, and from what Tim said was when the call came in, Mel offered to send camera crews and a director and everything. So they shot it as a 4-part documentary series, which is going to be, which Mel's going to release in due time. So I think it's going to be Sound of Freedom first, and then within a couple of weeks or a month, that this documentary series that he did is going to become available. It's basically going to corroborate, the information that Ballard has been putting out for the last 4.5, 5 years. And this has been going on longer than that, but it was, you had so many organizations that were out there claiming to do what Ballard is doing, when in all actuality, they were recovering children for the evil side. And then, and we didn't get to see those kids and things. They just told the story of it. But if you look at Clinton's, one of Clinton's aides there that ended up going over to Haiti and was busted trying to sneak 20 children out of the country, and had adoption papers and everything for all of them through the Clinton Foundation. And the thing was that was not a good intention, So yeah, it's going to be a big topic. It's going to be something that I think that there's going to be a lot of people who generally turn off podcasts when it comes to the topic of child trafficking and everything. People are going to get more curious about it, have more questions, and want to know what they can do to help.
Yeah, and the Clintons can't go to Haiti anymore. They're not welcome there. The Haitians don't want them.
Yeah,
I was going to say, you guys, I remember as a teenager coming home from school, and what did you watch? Oprah, right? Oprah had a school in Haiti, didn't she?
Yep. Yeah. Well, she's there and in Africa. And she was with John of God. So if you type in John of God on Google, it'll pull up a whole bunch of information in regards to him and his direct connection to Oprah and everything else. But he was involved with the NXIVM.
Yes, NXIVM.
And it was Oprah Winfield who introduced that girl from the TV series Smallville
Mhm.
Yeah,
She was all. Yeah, she was in the ring. She got caught
Yep,
in the ring.
she's the one who they sent her to go get children and talk them into coming.
Crazy the connections, huh?
Yes.
What
Disgusting is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, but this is the thing, Nikki. I mean, look at it this way: we're sitting here having this conversation right now, right? And you don't see anybody in chat saying, "Oh my God, I've got to get out of here. I got to get away
Oh
from this
no,
conversation."
I don't mean it like that,
No,
Huck.
no,
I mean it's
no.
disgusting that I sat there and watched Oprah all those years thinking she was some kind of a, celebrity and great thing and a black woman doing her thing and putting her on a pedestal, and here she is grooming children. Makes me sick. It's disgusting.
Yep. And
That's
it was,
what I meant by
it was
that.
basically the same thing with Rachel Chandler.
Yes.
Rachel Chandler was another one. She was introduced to this group of people and then put through the rigmarole. Now, this is the thing is whether their conscience will allow them to continue doing the bad behavior or if they are going to change their ways and rat these people out. Let the world know what these people are really doing.
Well,
and this is the thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I was trafficked through a Catholic priest and then a member of the Mormon church. Okay. From the age of 4 to the age of 14. Okay. So now I wasn't trafficked in the sense of what these children from overseas get trafficked, and never get to see the light of day again. My situation was the same, yet it was different, and it's really easy to misconstrue what these children are going through because of the prevalence of the active number of teenage runaways, and then children that are in foster care that run away because of the conditions or the circumstances, well, they just don't like authority figures kind of thing is basically what it boils down to and that's what they constantly throw out there, and imagine a 10-year-old boy walking into, the state troopers barracks, and telling your story and nobody wanting to do anything except for one guy. Okay. And this is the thing is, and I'll even say the guy's name. His name was Detective Michael Foley from Troop K in Connecticut. He was the lead detective. He later became the lead detective for the major crime squads. And he had this priest dead to rights. And one phone call to the commander of commander or commandant of the state troopers squashed the entire investigation. Okay. I was one of 47 boys aged between 4 to 14 that this man was trafficking.
Wow.
Okay. There were guys such as a guy by the name of George Nightingale. He owns all the porn shops in the Middletown, Connecticut area, all the way from Middletown, Connecticut, all the way to the coast. And then in the other direction is a guy by the name of Dan Quinn. Now, Dan Quinn, he owned strip clubs. So his whole thing was moving strippers from one club to another. But during the time in which I was aware of what was going on there, those were all women who basically they went in looking for a job. They got the job and they stayed for as long as they were making money. If they weren't making money, they quit and they left. And you didn't hear about somebody turning up dead on the side of the road or something like that. Where the kids are concerned, that's another story because the children are the commodity. People think that it's only a couple of $1 billion a year industry, when in all actuality, you could take the illegal arms worldwide, through sales, through the gun runners, okay, and then add in every drug worldwide trafficked, okay, and then include all oil and gas being sold throughout the world, and you still would not come up with the exact dollar that these guys, you know, make on a yearly basis, trafficking women, children, and it's both boys and girls. It's not one or the other. It's both, you know. So, you know, we're talking trillions of dollars a year. Okay. And this, what's crazy is the regular news tries to play it up. Oh, it's like $1 billion a year industry. They try to play that up. Well, I understand now because of watching these people and understanding their reactions and how they try to constantly shut down the conversation in regard to traffic, you know, completely remove it from any type of narrative on their platforms, is because they're involved.
Yeah. Look at how, well, I do want to give, the Clintons did a great job of liberating Libya and changing it from a horrible country to the biggest slave trade back ever. You know, they just brought it back. That's all they did. It's worse than ever. So I don't know. When will everyone wake up, Hawk? I'm still waiting.
Well, you know, but if you think about it, Craig, you know, think back 4 years ago, you know, back when, you know, we were all popping on to Prepping 101 and doing our own things and everything else. Think about how many people are awake today compared to then.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so I would say our numbers have grown by at least 50% since then. You know, but I also know that we can't take another 4 years in order to straighten this crap out.
Shit, I can't.
But
I'm telling you. Yeah.
But I also know that it's not. Yeah, it's. I also know that it can't be taken care of in a simple year. You know, you know, there's a lot. You know, because you got so many people on so many levels that have to be tracked, to have to be identified, have to be picked up. And then you have your trials, and then you got guys like this, the joke that's in office today, who are going to sit there and write pardons for him. Man. I mean, how many pardons can they give away to people who committed crimes 100 times worse than anything that was done on the 6th of you know what? Yet these guys are getting life sentences. And these other guys are getting out scot-free, or they're getting pardoned as soon as they get sentenced.
Oh, by the way, Black Scout Survival put out a great video last night, I think, and he analyzed with a buddy of his who was in the you know, the farm, and did that sort of work, and they were talking a lot about who is that guy, who is. They did a lot of face analyzing, you know. I mean, we all know it, the earlobes, there's the facial bone structure, that crazy video when he had the wide open eyes. He didn't blink at all. You know, there's just all these things. I really don't think that's him, man. I mean, it's.
I agree.
Think about the Koof was a perfect cover. Nobody really could see, you know. We don't know when this guy was gone. I think he was gone a long time ago. So, I don't know.
I have a question. Has anyone heard that the Obamas are moving to Africa? I saw it twice, like yesterday.
Wait,
well,
what?
They would be specifically going to Kenya.
I'm sorry, they're not moving. The word I used the word incorrect. It was they are relocating to Africa.
That's a good way to get them out of the line of sight, huh? To hide
well,
them.
it's because, you know, what did the particular board say? In the end, he will claim Kenyan citizenship.
Yep. Which he already claimed in the video before he was even president. I don't know if y'all saw that.
This is what happened on Thursday and Friday. As soon as the indictments came down, they set the precedence that former presidents can now be indicted.
Oh,
good time to move to Kenya.
So, so you got to really think about what, you have to, okay. So you got this puzzle that's been going on for many, many years, but for us, it's been, the last 6 to 7 years, the pieces have all been getting laid out for us. Right. And we've had to slowly begin to put all the pieces into place to understand the intent of the real picture. Because see, we don't have a cover of a box to look at in order to assemble that puzzle. All we have is a blackboard and the pieces, and we have to hope that we're putting the pieces in the right place. Right. And that's why I say, it's sometimes, certain things can be discounted, but the one thing that I remembered about the boards that was stated was, you're not the only ones looking at this. So not all messages are for you. Some messages are directly to those in that deep, dark place to warn them that, listen, you either need to, come to the right side, or, the worst is going to happen to you. So it's always been God's plan, because I don't think that the evil that is here today was meant to be here today. And that he's not going to tolerate it. He's waking people up so that when things happen, that people understand the complexity of it all, because it's complex, because it's a big flipping web. Every person is, from one to another, there's a spider web that connects all of these people. And when you look at that, you're talking a really good amount of, well, pretty much all of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
We're watching people, that a year ago when that election finished and all that, that we, that we were getting all good people in, but now we're beginning to see them turn, MTG.
Look at the bipartisanship. Look at how much Lindsey Graham wants us to go after the Ruskies, and then look how his partners on the other side want the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder. You have to really wonder.
I can't.
And leading towards America in war. If you look at the meeting that Graham had with Zelensky, and Zelensky said, well, many Russians are dying, and Lindsey Graham said that's the best money we've ever spent.
I hate him. I'm sorry, that's a strong word, but
oh wait,
Lindsey Graham crackers is awful.
Well, this is the thing to realize is, love the person, but hate the sin. Because hate gets you nowhere. You know what I mean? But clear conscience and clear thought can take you every place in the world that you've ever wanted to be.
Hey, Jax brings up a good thing. I want to see that, Jax. I heard about Mark Levine's video.
It was excellent. You guys want me to play it?
Yeah.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I didn't get to see it.
You guys continue talking and let me go find it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, he let it rip. He really did.
Wait, what do you mean, Diamond? How do you mean he let it rip?
Well, I don't mean in the way that you think I mean.
Now I want to see. Now I really want to watch.
Yeah. He didn't pull up the hunter, okay?
I forgot the audience I'm talking to here.
I know. Hawk. Pull my finger.
Tater chip.
No, I'm not pulling your finger. It's bad enough that I'm down here with you. When it blows, I'm going to have to make sure the wind is going the other way. Let me turn my fan. Let me turn my fan now.
Yeah, you first got to understand. I live with Anita farting house.
Somebody sent me a video the other day of this old guy. Okay, his TV went to sleep. You know, how they have the sleep timers. And he was doing everything with his remote to try and get this damn TV to wake up. And he's this really large, heavy-set, bald guy. And he walks up to the screen and he lets one rip. And the TV comes on and he says, "That's right, it'll wake up the dead."
Nice. Yorga, good to see you, sir.
Hey, Yorga. All right, everybody mute. I'm going to play it, okay?
Newton.
Oh, wait a minute. Is somebody backstage?
I hope it's Yorga. I love you, Yorga. I miss you. All right, buddy.
Oh, no. Nobody's back there. All right, hang on. I kicked Hawk back lower. That's all. All right, here we go.
We check in now with the great one. I call him the great one. He's the host of Life, Liberty, Levin. Weeknights, weekend Sunday at 9 p.m. Top show on the network. The great one, Mark Levin. Mark, I'll just hand it to you. I know you got a lot to say.
President Trump is 76 years old. If the Department of Justice gets his way, he will die in federal prison. Just by one of these counts, conspiracy to obstruct justice, which has a 20-year maximum sentence. This is a disgusting mark on American history for the future to come by these bandits in the White House, by the Democrat Party that don't play fair anymore. They don't want to just win elections. They want to take control of this country. They want one-party rule. And they have used the Department of Justice and the FBI to get what they want. Merrick Garland is a mob lawyer. That's what he is. Jack Reed is a rogue Soviet-style prosecutor. The Presidential Records Act is not a criminal statute, and it was never intended to be. The Espionage Act of 1917 was passed under Woodrow Wilson, another corrupt president. Woodrow Wilson used it to go after his adversaries, and they imprisoned 2,000 people. So I suppose over there at the Department of Injustice, and this clown prosecutor spent a lot of time at The Hague. They probably figured these laws could be used to try and entrap Trump. All these obstruction issues that they claim, where the former Attorney General, Boebert, comes up here and bloviates about it, and all the formers coming on talking about obstruction. They have them on obstruction. There'd be no obstruction issue of any kind, not even in anybody's imagination, had they not criminalized this case. This is a document case. A document case where a president of the United States or a former president faces 100 years in federal prison? Is this some kind of a sick joke on the American people? Joe Biden says he never told them what to do. Joe Biden had to sign off on that's becoming a National Archives case to have it go to the Department of Justice. Who does he think he's lying to? The American people? This is a guy that's got documents from the time he was in the U.S. Senate, for God's sakes, in his garage. I don't want to hear from the legal analysts the technicalities about false statements and obstruction. This should never have been a criminal case. Willful retention of documents. Well, what's the unwillful retention of documents mean? They're throwing all these process crimes and all these crimes that grow out of the criminal investigation against Trump. What did he do with the documents? Did he sell them to the enemy? No. That's why we have an Espionage Act, not to trick up a president. What did he do? Did he burn them all? No. The government has all the documents back. So there is no violation of the Presidential Records Act at this point. But they throw the book at him. They go after his attorneys. They make them testify. They're attorneys under the crime fraud exception to attorney-client privilege. That means he didn't have due process. His own lawyers were being subjected to interrogations, and they had hundreds of in-person people testifying in front of grand juries. Thousands of collections of documents for what? For what? And they indict him today? They indict him today in Miami? All of a sudden it's in Miami? All of a sudden we have a Florida grand jury? Because the moron in Washington figured out that there are venue issues that could lose him his case. This guy, this prosecutor, he lost 8-0 in the U.S. Supreme Court when they overturned the conviction of the former governor of Virginia because this jerk took a statute and expanded it. A jury in North Carolina wouldn't convict John Edwards because this jerk took a campaign statute and expanded it. And he's taken this case and he's undermining the country and he's interfering with a presidential election. And let me be clear, as Jarrett said, the Attorney General of the United States made this final decision. This is not the independent counsel statute. This is a special counsel appointed by the Attorney General under a Department of Justice regulation. This Attorney General, who pretends he's Helen Keller, he made the decision to indict the former president, and they made the decision to interfere in this election. You want to talk about an insurrection? This is an insurrection, and that's exactly what's going on here. Let me go on. Joe Biden is the crookedest crook that's ever been in the Oval Office. Everywhere we look, there's a predicate for a special counsel. They won't appoint a special counsel, even though it's compelled under the law in which they appointed this special counsel. And you're not supposed to appoint a special counsel against your political opponent. You're supposed to appoint one in the case of Biden. 20 shell corporations, $10 million coming from the communist Chinese military, spread out among the family, no businesses to support this. Endless meetings with Biden's, with Hunter Biden's business partners. Bob Alinsky, who ties Joe Biden to the crimes, Mr. Big, Mr. 10%. And what does Biden say? Well, then where's the money? He's asking us, come and catch me if you can. The idea that this man isn't under a criminal investigation and that they criminalized a damn document case to go after Donald Trump is sickening. And I would say this to our fellow Americans. Don't be bamboozled by these cable channels and these fools who come on and tell you, well, he's not above the law. Are you kidding me? Democrat Attorney General in New York, Democrat prosecutor in Manhattan, Democrat prosecutor in Atlanta, Democrat Attorney General in Washington, D.C. What do you mean he's not above the law? There is no law. What's going on here is a disgusting disgrace. It is war on Trump. It is war on the Republican Party, and it is a war on the republic. The radical left is doing what the radical left does while they cover up for Biden the way they covered up for Hillary. If Donald Trump is to be charged like this, Hillary Clinton should have been charged with 10,000 counts of obstruction because that's how many emails she destroyed, and 5 counts of destroying cell phones because that's how many cell phones they destroyed. I'm done, and I'm sick of it.
Holy shit, was that awesome?
Mark, many years ago, you said to me, and you said in one of your books, we're in a post-constitution.
Sorry, that was awesome. That was awesome.
He says, what day is it today? Wow. And they said, was it June 8th? And he said, this is the insurrection day, not January.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. I'm so pumped up right now.
Right? That was awesome.
Diamond,
did you get my email when I sent it to you yesterday?
Wait, who? Me?
No, Diamond. I sent Diamond that video yesterday.
Oh, yes. And I watched it. Yes.
Nick, you sending me emails.
Oh, I thought he was gonna have a stroke.
That was awesome
too.
You know what I'm thinking the whole time?
Like, yeah.
Nikki, can I tell you what I'm thinking the whole time?
Sure.
Shouldn't be thinking this, but let's stop holding the line. We need to stop holding the freaking line.
That's what I was saying on Diamond Show the other day. It's like, I was texting in the chat. We've been told to hold the line for how many years? When do we stop holding the line?
I'm telling you, I think this
may push forward.
And we know to keep controlled and not do such a thing, but I'm surprised the American people have not.
Well, okay, so I don't know if anybody watched yesterday's X-22 report.
No,
I listened to it this morning.
So when you think about hold the line, okay, it's basically saying hold your fire until you see the whites of their eyes. Okay, don't waste your ammunition in taking long shots. Okay. That's how we won the first American war or the first American Revolution. Okay. Was because of the fact that we held our fire. We had low gunpowder, low count of lead balls. Okay. And so when the troops were told, hold your fire until you see the whites of their eyes. Okay. If one guy would have fired his shot, okay, then they would have been expelling all of their gunpowder and all their ammunition. Okay. That's why you notice Trump only takes short shots. Okay. He waits until the person completely exposes themselves. Basically, he sees the whites of their eyes.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And then he's able to put a bullet in there.
Yeah.
So he's not wasting ammunition. He's not wasting powder, which we have such a sparing number of. Okay. And when you think about that in its entirety, think about the 60 billion rounds of ammunition that a particular president purchased before going out of office.
Yep.
Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
About how Obama, yep. And the government paid for it, but they can't find that ammunition anywhere.
And he always talked. He always talked of having his own army. He always said that. He said his own.
Well, he had his own army. It was him, Lindsey Graham, and John McCain. Okay, they had ISIS.
You're right.
Okay, and the thing is it was American funded ISIS against American funded U.S. soldiers.
Amber here.
Wait, I think I know where that ammo went. It might have went there. I don't know. Well, who knows?
Judge Jeanine went off on the 5 yesterday too about that whole thing.
Welcome to this very emotional episode of Nikki B. Thank
Do
you.
you want me to play Judge Jeanine?
I talk too much.
That's up to,
we love
you.
Wait a minute. Is Judge Jeanine? Is that has to do with the Flashpoint thing?
No, it was about the indictment.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
She was supposed to do that. Not revolution. What was I going to say? The revival with Flashpoint, and Fox News came in and said she couldn't do it.
Yeah, she was canceled from doing that. Yep.
Yeah.
It's because she's beginning to drop truths, pretty much like Carlson was doing.
Yeah.
That's why when I look at guys like Hannity, and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, these guys are such suckers for that almighty dollar.
Yeah.
It's they said that money is the root of all evil.
Exactly.
Okay. But gold and silver belong to God.
Right.
Okay. So in understanding that, you begin to understand that when these guys are paid $1 million to $1.5 million salary per month, that's part of their contract, $1 million to $1.5 million a month, that they're going to do whatever the hell they're told, because that's $1.5 million a month.
I'm sorry I didn't see your comment, but I don't know. He said he was trying to get our attention.
Hey, I was going to say, I'm far from evil. I'm so broke right now. So if money is the root.
This is the thing is when it said that money was the root of all evil, it's understanding that the federal dollar is a promissory note, that it's a debtor's note. That's it. It's not currency. It's not real. It's always been an illusion to everybody. So everybody wants more of it in order to sustain life, so on and so forth. When in all actuality, all along we should have been concentrating on the silver and the gold, which was basically stolen from the American people. Back in the I think it was the 1930s, 1940s. When they forced it, they basically passed a law that you could not possess silver and gold.
Yes.
That belonged to the government. You had to turn that over, and you didn't even get. And the Fed reduced went through Wall Street, and they reduced the value of gold and silver, so that they didn't have to pay the American people the real value of that. And with their promissory notes, they could just create inflation anytime that they wanted. And what are we living in today? That the result of what they did all the way back then. And then in the 1970s, it came to the point where you could start buying it again.
But the Bible says too, it's not having money. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. You can have money. It's just if you start letting the love of it take over, that's when it's the root of all evil.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
But it's a sin to be in debt. And with every dollar that you have, what do you have? You have a debtor's note. Go ahead, Nikki. Sorry.
No, it's okay. All right, hold on, Yorga. I'll let you up right after I play this, okay?
Yeah.
It's not you're asking for the link for the video I played. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Nikki. I love him. He's great.
Here we go.
Brand new details as the federal indictment of Donald Trump gets unsealed. The former president getting hit with 37 charges in the classified documents case. Trump's aide also getting indicted. The feds say there are 2 instances of Trump showing classified material to people, including a military plan of attack against an unnamed country. Trump's accused of directing an aide to move documents out of a storage room before an FBI subpoena. The DOJ also claiming that Trump suggested to his lawyer that they should hide or destroy the documents. The former president will appear in federal court Tuesday in Miami and is proclaiming his innocence.
And we had tremendous support, but that was a hoax and a scam. And now they're doing it again. It's just a continuation, 7 years. I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if we could devote our full time to making America great again.
Special counsel Jack Smith breaking his silence, but not taking questions on why he decided to indict Trump.
Our nation's commitment to the rule of law sets an example for the world. We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. It's very important for me to note that the defendants in this case must be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law.
Joe Biden saying that he doesn't know what the Joe Biden DOJ was doing.
President Biden, have you spoken to Attorney General Merrick Garland yet?
I have not spoken to him at all. I'm not going to speak to him. I have no comment on what happened.
And the liberal media has been popping the champagne since the news broke.
I don't know. It's sad and it's shocking, but it's also kind of it makes me feel a bit relieved.
Line by line by line of this indictment lays out calculation, deliberate misconduct.
You can see the voluminous nature of this, that they have the goods and the receipts. It is bad news. I have never seen anything hit Donald Trump this hard.
That sound that you hear is silence, largely from Republicans in these moments. Maybe they're reading this 50-page document.
The taped conversation, is that a smoking gun?
Do they consider as part of a potential plea offer something that would proscribe him from running for office again?
That's a dude.
Judge Jeanine Pirro, you've been reading the indictment. How would you characterize
it? You know, I am so livid right now. I am furious. I have spent over 3 decades in a system that I believe in. I'm a believer. But today, I am no longer a believer. What you've got is a weaponized Department of Justice, Department of FBI, and CIA. We saw it from the time he came down that escalator. They started with a Russia collusion hoax, and we know that Hillary Clinton made it up. She even told a president, the Durham report, she told Biden and she told Obama she was going to do it to get rid of her email scandal. So what did they do? The FBI lied. They went to a FISA court judge. They lied 3 more times. They needed to get this guy. And then they violated the Fourth Amendment rights of one American and spied on a presidential candidate. And we now know it was all a hoax started by Hillary Clinton. But that wasn't enough. Then what we had is the FBI telling social media, you can expect that there's going to be Russian disinformation in the form of a Hunter Biden laptop. And that's when they interfered with the presidential election for the second time. And 51 CIA intelligence agents. So we've got the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA say, oh, this is Russian disinformation, when we know damn well it wasn't Russian disinformation. And now what you've got is a loser prosecutor, Jack Smith, who's been slapped down by the United States Supreme Court in one of his prosecutions, that if I were a lawyer, I would give up my law license. I'd be so embarrassed hiding under a rock. He's the one who prosecuted John Edwards. He's got a political agenda. And this is all over a Presidential Records Act, which is a civil suit, a civil issue. And so what they do is they put out this narrative indictment. Oh, this is a story of wrongdoing, national defense. And let's put in espionage. We can kind of tie it into the Russian collusion. So people will say, oh, it could have been the Russians. This is nonsense. And I want to know, how many documents were altered? How many documents were destroyed? Zero. But who destroyed 33,000 documents that she lied about over and over again? Hillary Clinton. She destroyed them. That was tampering with evidence. That was obstruction of justice. And did the DOJ, the FBI care? They didn't give a damn. But now they care. What are they so afraid of? Let him run for office. And if he loses, then that's the end of it. I hate a country that is akin to a third world country. This is a banana republic. When you indict one guy running for president and the guy who's doing it is some old geezer who says, you know what? I don't know anything about it. The day, by the way, the day that we finally get under threat of contempt of the head of the FBI, we finally get a 1023 from a credible FBI source. Credible, $200,000 worth of credibility the FBI paid him, saying Joe took $5 million, Hunter took $5 million from Ukraine. And I'm not done yet. I'll tell you something else. This whole thing with Ukraine, why the heck is everybody going to Ukraine? Why do we put billions and billions and billions of dollars into Ukraine? What the heck is going on over there? Randy Weingarten going to check out education. And Joe Biden goes over there in January of 2018, and he says, if you don't get the prosecutor off that company where my son makes $80,000 a month, and if you don't get rid of him, I'm not going to give you the $1 billion that the United States promised you. Well, Joe, that's called pay to play. It's an organized criminal enterprise that we have as a president and his family. They should be ashamed, and every American should be ashamed of what happened today.
New to Chewy? She was hot. So that the video she was talking about, that's what I was saying. It was that video was shot at the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations. You know, and so that's why I thought that was really interesting that you brought the CFR up, and I was like, you realize that's where he made that statement, and it was recorded. And the thing was we were playing that back when back during the first impeachment, but nobody would look at it. Right. I mean, our viewers would, but nobody else would look at it. There was no legal entity in the country that wanted to look at that. What about the propagandists, man? I hate them on both sides, but especially on the left. I mean, oh my gosh, they're loving in it. But I think
yeah. Diane Wood says in chat, has anybody heard that Trump could not get approval for his presidential library?
Yes. What? Yeah, that was the reason that they were storing it, is because the place that they had originally picked in which to put his library they turned him down.
Oh no.
Wow.
And that was the reason why they were being stored there at Mar-a-Lago. And you know what his library should? Where? What's that?
Do you know where it was?
There were two places that had been selected. I believe one of them was a city in Florida. And then the other one was, I know it was definitely outside of DC.
Jersey.
Yeah, I think it was New Jersey, over by where his golf course is there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Bedminster.
Yep. Yeah, by Bedminster. Yeah, in that area there. So
And that was the original intent was for him to be able to do that. I mean, when Carter left office, it was, when Carter left office, he had his documents at his home because the Carter Center had not been finished being built yet. It was almost a year and a half, almost 2 years before the Carter Center was finally finished. And then they moved all the documents in there. So it was, and then you're looking at, the fact that, people from the Senate and from Congress can look at classified materials in a skiff. Okay. One thing that people don't take into account is when Trump gives us a message, misspellings mean everything. So when Trump stated that that Joe had taken them from a skiff, that particular skiff was spelled Skiff. Well, this is the thing, is that the skiffs that the president uses and everything else is spelled SCIF. Okay. And basically, if you look up the word skiff and you go back through the history of the word, you will find out that it actually means ship. Skiff is the German word for ship.
That pencil neck? The pencil neck?
Yep. So basically, who was giving Biden the documents? Who was on the Intelligence Committee at that time?
Ship.
Biden wasn't on the Intelligence Committee.
No,
it was the pencil neck.
The dude has no intelligence.
And
Period.
He's a freak. He's a freak. He's a freak. He's one of them. He's another one that he's like deep involved. He's probably been to that island.
Nikki B.
You're muted, sweetheart.
She may have fallen asleep.
Yes.
Nikki B. I've got to step down, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm gonna end this anyway.
Diamond, be careful stepping down, Diamond.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I have. It's a big leap, but I've just got to step. Yeah, I've got to step down though.
Diamond and I were coming on for an hour, so.
Oh, we went over. Sorry, Nikki.
No, don't be sorry. I'm so glad all you guys came up and
it's been a great conversation. Yeah.
I really have.
Thank you.
I talked too much. Sorry.
Privilege.
Hawk dropped a shitload of info though.
Yeah, he did.
Well, that's the thing. It was very, very informative.
Very.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Nikki.
Oh my gosh! Thank
Yes,
you
thank
all
you.
for coming, and thank you, Hawk, for all the info you gave to us tonight. And
I've been debating on whether I was going to do a podcast or not. And when I saw you on and you were inviting people up, I was like, okay, you just saved me from having to do my own.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Hopefully I didn't say anything that
X22.
will get you in trouble, though. I was trying to be good.
you know what,
do one,
Hawk,
we'll
I
just
live on the
follow
edge,
you.
so we're good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna let you go. Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
Marla.
Marla.
Nice meeting you,
Thank
honey.
Nice to meet you, Marla.
Remember to
Right.
subscribe to Nikki B's backup channel.
I
Yep.
don't even
Has one
want-
yet?
Oh,
This goes down, it's down.
yeah.
All right.
And if you need a little bit of God in your life, tune in to Diamond Lil's every morning fellowship.
Thank you, Hawk.
Well worth your time.
Thank
I
you.
turned it on, even though I don't talk in chat and stuff like that. Generally, I am listening.
I did.
Because I don't want to distract when I get into chat and people start talking to me and everything. It creates a distraction, and I don't ever want to do that. I want people to focus on what the person that's on the screen is attempting to do. But know that I'm there watching y'all.
A lot of times a lot of times too, Hawk, you haven't even had your coffee yet.
Yeah. It's because when you come on, it's like 5 o'clock my time.
It's
I
early.
know.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
All right, everybody.
Diamond. Hawk, what channel are you on now?
18 and 22.
he's got it.
So,
Oh,
and 23 and
40.
24 I've made, but you can't do you can't subscribe to those yet. So, because I'm trying not to make them public until they either tag 18 or 22, and then boom, I can pull the other one up and get everybody to go over to it.
How do you get so many channels? Do you have to have a different phone number for all these?
Yeah. And let me tell you, you have no idea how many burner phones I've gone through in the last 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
He's got
Well, I'm going to drop Hawks 18. There you go. I think I got everybody.
Soon to be
Yeah, I'll go on to 18 and then announce what channel I'll be doing the podcast in regards to information wise. 18, I'm trying to keep for anything that I do for God's work.
There you go. What'd you say, Craig?
Nikki, he was so clever with it. He'd jump around. He wouldn't go in numerical order. He would.
Right. I'm like, I'm dropping 1. I'm dropping 18. That's what I got for you all.
Over on Hawk 4. Come on.
Well, it was whichever one didn't have a strike at that time was where I was going live.
I remember.
Yeah. And I burned through the strikes real quick too, because it's like, the first one's a warning. And then your second one, so like 2 shows in 2 days in a row was enough to get the first strike. And then once that second strike happens, they don't waste any time about finding anything in any video years before to say, oh, we're going to get you for this one.
Right.
Yeah,
they go digging then.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you this, though. I've been playing a lot of things, but I put everything on private when I'm done.
I got one taken down last week that was already private. I didn't even have it up.
Yeah, they go through those as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And even unlisted. Because I have a bunch of unlisted ones that I did where like, because I have a couple of buildings that are out here that are for sale before I leave here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to be moving farther away than I thought I was going to be. And moving these buildings to a new location for me where I'm going would be thousands and thousands of dollars. So, I mean, just to move one of these buildings 3 towns away is about $1,200 to $1,400.
Wow.
So, and that's just the tow fee itself. So I shoot videos of the buildings and then I send the person who's interested in buying it the link, and that's the only way that they can watch it is if they have the link.
Well, it's very intrusive for them to go on to, something you're paying for and you put it on private or whatever the case may be. What? They shouldn't be able to do that.
Yep. And like I said, it's one of the buildings has a fuck Biden sign on it.
Uh-huh.
And so they pulled down they pulled that video from the unlisted for hate speech.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Supreme Leader of YouTube. I must go now. I do not know. Troublemaker.
All right, see you, Nikki. Love y'all. See you, Hawk.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming, and thank you everyone that joined me in chat tonight. I hope you guys all have a great evening, and God bless. You all take care. Thanks, Hawk, again.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye, puppies.